somebody indeed. What is good? Welcome into the Overs, the premier college baseball betting preview show. My name is Alan Bell. This is TJ Parker. Got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to go through everything week 6 coming this weekend in college baseball. TJ, my boy, how we doing?
Good. Live tracking my play from today. Just looked down, but of course my phone just doesn't want to give us a score. So, but yeah, just checking that. But yeah, all good. Betting, living.
Yeah, a score bug that doesn't work. Very helpful. That's what everybody wants to download on their phone right now. Like we said, all right, so this is about college baseball week 6. And let me tell you, if you thought week 5 was great, week 6 is awesome. It's loaded with games, man. I can't wait to jump into it. And I mean, why wait indeed? Now, first off, all right, scan the QR codes. 2 ESPN tournament bracket challenges here from Driving the Line. The first one on the left, partner with the boys from Catch and Cash. Both of them are free, so you're going to want to jump in both of them, but they will lock Thursday once the first games begin. So make sure to join both of those again. Free. We've got, I think, almost $1,000. We've got merch. We've got trophies. We've got all kinds of stuff lined up for winners. So make sure to scan both of those, jump in, have some fun. All right, so let's get into it, man. And look, I'll pull this full screen here. The weekend key series that we have, top 25 teams. I mean, look, go down the list. Auburn, Kentucky, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Clemson, Duke and Virginia, Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Coastal Carolina, Troy. Keep going down the damn list. All right, South Carolina, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, LSU, Texas, Florida State, Miami. All right, Rutgers and Oregon. And then we got Cal and Stanford. So, TJ, I throw it over to you, man. Take a look here at the first slide. Which ones stand out to you? What do you see, man?
Yeah, Ole Miss. After losing 2 of 3 there to they got Arkansas. They get Missouri. So, hopefully a bounce back for them. And then it's just an embarrassment of riches right there as you're looking at it. Virginia and Duke. I'm going to be on Virginia, obviously, as we ban Duke, so that's a nice opportunity for us there. A lot of teams here, like North Carolina, needs a good bounce back. Vanderbilt going up against Texas A&M. It's going to be a great series. Both those teams, could use a bounce back. I don't think Texas A&M is going to, but Dallas Baptist. You can go to the next one if you want.
No, I was going to say
Dallas Baptist, Middle Tennessee is a very interesting series. I just think it's like one of those middle series where we'll actually get to bet on it all weekend. Don't know which side I really want to be on. Obviously the overs looks pretty enticing, but yeah, sidewise, I don't know.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm with you, man. Like there are so many, and this is just the top 25. I mean, there are so many teams in. Fascinating enough, look at Texas A&M. Look at that number right beside them. There is no number beside them, dude. Out of the top 25. From a team that was ranked number 1. Now, we had a question in the chat real quick. What do we have? Tuber, is there a good phone app to track baseball scores? Yeah, so I use D1 Baseball. Again, what you could do, I have an iPhone, and what I've done is you could just bookmark the link directly to the whatever you call it, your home screen on your phone. And it essentially is the same thing as an app. It'll take you to the live scores every time. So that's what I use, man. You can always use your apps that you bet through, right? Like your sports books. Some of them are better than others, but for me, man, I use D1 Baseball.
And I would just add that another good trick to D1 Baseball is you got to click on the game. They sometimes, the box score. Click it. Don't just look at the boxes and be like, oh, those are the scores.
Yeah, they're like an inning behind the time.
Yeah, it'll change.
Yeah, that's a great point. You definitely do want to click box score on those because it'll have you either feeling really good when you shouldn't or feeling bad when you shouldn't, right? Because of how these games change. That's a great point. Yeah, dude. I mean, look, Auburn going to Kentucky, Georgia going to Florida, Tennessee going to Alabama. Dude, you want to know a weird quirk? Tennessee hasn't lost a weekend series since Alabama, and that was the first weekend series of last year. That's the last series that they lost. It was against Alabama, dude.
Hottest team in baseball, man.
Dude, well, and I'll say this, man, like we're gonna see other teams that are doing that when we get to the stats. There's some other teams that have been around that area. a lot. They just don't lose weekends, man. Alabama is a hell of a baseball team. Yeah, like you said, Middle Tennessee, Dallas Baptist, dude. Coastal and Troy is going to be a really good series. I'm excited for that one. Um, LSU
Oregon
Tech,
Rutger, I'm excited for that. Sorry to jump in, but yeah,
which
as soon
one?
as you change pace, Oregon Rutger,
Hmm.
that's going to be a good one. Obviously, Oregon, losing one on the weekend here kind of gives us somewhat of a bounce back opportunity for them too. So hopefully get a better number, even though it might be a weird series. And
Yeah,
then Arkansas against South Carolina. South Carolina, I think they're like 17-3, right? So hoping to
they're
get some
playing.
good numbers on that series. So because they're playing really well, but I mean Arkansas, they're dogs, man. They're crazy
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they are good. They are crazy good. And look, Florida State's got Miami, and then I believe they play Florida again on Tuesday. So keep an eye there. LSU Texas is going to be a war. That's going to be fantastic, man. It's just setting up, man. And look, this is only the second week, really, of all conference play. Like all these teams are going to continue to play each other, man. I cannot wait. All right, so those are our weekend key series. We'll dive into some more of them here. All right, so the bump. All right, got two new dudes now. All right, we didn't want to include all of them that you had, even though they've been monsters. Like those, it's not like those were taking them away. It's just a lot that like to get thrown at you, right? So you could look at each week's episode and find these guys, and TJ's got great information, and they're all still there. They're all still absolutely pounding away. But wanted to highlight two new dudes to the list, man, and I'll throw it up, man, and you take over.
Yeah, so two new guys. First and foremost, I'll add to what AB just said. Yeah, we got our other guys. Still five guys in the pen. All five this week are we're going to use them, and I'll make sure to put that in the Discord for us. But two new guys, okay. Both 5-0. First, we'll start with Zane Taylor. Pitches for UNC Wilmington. Came on my radar last weekend, actually, when I was looking to bet against them and realized that they do not lose on Friday because of this guy. They got a great opportunity going up against Campbell. He's a Friday starter. Look for them. Look to bet on UNC Wilmington on Friday going up against Campbell, who's 8-12. And then Kyson Witherspoon, the better of the brothers on this Oklahoma team. I don't know if they're twins or not, but there's two Witherspoons. This guy's the better pitcher. I don't know exactly like what I said. They do look a lot alike, so I don't want to miss twin them or something like that. But I like making jokes about twins, and yeah, I like making jokes about twins playing sports together. One always has to be better than the other, right? So you just have the other one just because you want the good one. I'm wondering if this is that situation because the other guy's like 1 and 2 in a bad ERA.
Here's the question. All right, if you were a twin, all right, and you both were like stud pitchers, would you go to the same school?
Yeah, well, twins would. My best friends are twins, so I know personally that like those guys
Like
would not split up. It's hard to split them up.
really?
They can
Like
hate
they
each
like
other and they'll still stick together.
damn, okay. I guess when you get the
Yeah,
same DNA, you're just gonna continue to
yeah.
roll. Yeah.
Well,
Well, you know
you're
what?
with each
Hey,
other from the hop, right? You're in the womb together, you know.
yeah.
It's hard to
You
get
just
them to separate. Anyway, sorry.
no. That was good.
Yeah.
That's why I asked, man. I don't know. No, that's great.
Uh, with Witherspoon, Oklahoma is going up against Mississippi State this weekend, so another opportunity for them. He's a Friday starter. They're 14-7. Trying to get away from these Friday starters, but I'm not going to get away with what's working right now. So if I can only find us wins on Fridays, that's what I'm doing.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's generally where your best pitchers are going to be, are on Friday nights. You know what I mean? That's where your dudes are going to roll. So it makes sense for sure. And you know what? And you bring up a good point too. When you find teams that have stud Saturday guys or stud Sunday guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Last year, and not to bring up Tennessee again, I just bring it up because I'm here because I just see it more often than others. That was honestly one of the biggest keys last year was yeah, like Tennessee's ace, their Friday guy got hurt at the beginning of the year. He was gone the entire season, and they actually threw two dudes on every Friday. They would throw two guys, right, as one. But their Sunday guy was untouchable. If you didn't win the series by Saturday, your ass was done. You know what I mean? So like, it's fascinating that how some teams will kind of roll out
Yeah,
rotations.
and I would
And then,
just like to add the Discord and the crew picking me up on these like days which guys are pitching. Some of the people in the NCAA baseball have told me like, oh, this guy was scheduled Sunday, but he's been switched to Saturday. I think it was
yeah,
JB last weekend, and yeah, like thanks for picking us up. It is important to find out which days these guys are pitching on, because you don't want to be like, oh, I know this Oklahoma's going to win today, and you're wrong about the day. So
Yeah. No. Like, no, that's good info. And that happens. Like it absolutely happens. So it's good information. No, for sure. All right. So jumping out to our team leaderboards here. I mean, it's just a lot of information to take in. I was just going to let you kind of sit and read it there for a second. I didn't want to just throw it at you. Home runs. Georgia, 57, lead the country. This team is absolutely friggin' mashing. Like, they're absolutely mashing. They're a problem. We saw them in Kentucky go at it this weekend, and Kentucky held its own. I mean, these games were 17-15. Like, they were wild, right? Tennessee with 54. East Tennessee, who beat Tennessee last night. All right, East Tennessee has 49 bombs. Like, we're not going to get to bet them a ton, like, just because they're not going to come up on your books a lot. But when you do, they can mash. They can absolutely mash, man. Alabama keeps climbing up, 47. And look at Kansas, 46, man. 46. Scott asked a good question, and I'm glad that I'm going to go ahead and interrupt it and answer this one. How much stock do you put into midweek games heading into weekend series betting-wise? Absolutely none. None. Like, now, what I put stock into are teams that have a bad weekend and it continues through the midweek. Yeah, I'll put stock into that. But Tennessee losing to East, no, because a lot of these teams, I'm not saying they don't care, but they just the managers have different motivations, right? They want to get young guys throwing, they want to get young guys out in the field, they want to get them at bats, guys that they're going to need down the road, right? Guys that pinch hit, like they work a lot of fundamentals. So no, and you're even seeing it again tonight. North Carolina lost, Virginia lost, right? Like, you're going to see that. And that's why, quite frankly, like tonight, we're recording this on Wednesday. It's live. I played the 3-leg money line parlay, and it's toast because North Carolina lost. But that's why I did it with the money lines, because, dude, you have no idea what you're going to get. No idea what you're going to get. Now, totals, you're going to see us play a lot more totals during the week than you're going to see money lines. But Scott, great question. And no, I don't put anything into it whatsoever, because it's going to be different every week. I wouldn't even concern yourself with it, really. It's only if it's like bleeding into, right? Like, if teams continue to have problems, yeah, that's when it's a problem. Now you look at team ERAs. Tennessee leads the country 1.94. Western Kentucky 2.31. Dude, this is a team that can hit, and this is a team that can pitch. Western Kentucky is an absolute nightmare to deal with. Florida State, excellent team, obviously, 2.62 ERA. Oregon State, look at them, 2.93 ERA. And then Central Florida, a 3.05 ERA on this season. So, yeah, Wags, you're right. UCF is good. Like, this team is no joke, man. This team is absolutely no joke. Wags also says, yeah, dude, last year it was serious. Like, it was an awesome tandem that they had on Friday nights, and then Sunday it was lights out. It was just absolute lights out, man. You're right. All right, go back to the leaderboards. TJ, I throw it to you, man. Anything that you see here, anything that stands out?
yeah, it's good to see Oregon State getting the pitching going, 2.93, so it's coming down. They did struggle a bit earlier in the year. And then, yeah, we can use these home runs. Obviously, things like Georgia and Tennessee, they're going up against each other this weekend. Exciting. So you got like big mash and setup right there. I love that. Every time I see the odd Tennessee team on here, it's throwing me off. Like, catching my eye. Middle Tennessee, East Tennessee,
Yeah.
just mashing, eh?
Yeah, dude, East Tennessee can absolutely they can absolutely mash, man. Absolutely mash. Now, Middle Tennessee, we're gonna talk about them in a minute. They can a little bit, but their games are fun if you bet overs, because they can score some runs and they'll give up a whole hell of a lot of runs, man. Yeah, so that is our team leaderboards here. All right, coming in hot. Take a look at that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting there that you got I do believe, right? Yeah, sorry.
What are you gonna say?
Sorry, the Tennessee coming in hot, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, having just lost. Like, so this is from week 5. All right. And technically Tennessee lost week 6, the midweek
No,
game.
yeah, I know.
But I mean, no. Like, the point is taken, right? So Tennessee 4-0 last week at number 12, Alabama this week. I mean, look at this list. Number 2, LSU 4-0 last week at number 8, Texas. Oregon State
We're
5-0
also on
last
the
week.
list.
Yeah, at Cal Poly. There you go. Number 8, Texas 4-0 last week at home hosting LSU. And then Wake Forest, man, 5-0 last week at number 7, Clemson. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like you have number 1, number 2, number 6, number 8, number 7, number 11, number 12, like playing against each other. Dude, which one stands out? Like which one do you think is going to be the hardest one to cap this weekend out of these that you see here?
Clemson and Wake Forest, I think. But to be honest, Clemson is the only team that's on this whole list of teams, even though you have the 2 listed twice, which is what made me look into this, that isn't coming in hot. All the teams on the other side, Alabama, Cal Poly, all won all their games last week. They're all coming in hot in these series. So
yeah,
it's going to be pretty interesting.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be tough. I'll tell you what to pay attention to, man, is Friday nights. Friday night is going to be the key, okay? Which team can get the other team into the bullpen faster, all right? The quicker that Team A can get Team B to burn up their bullpen arms, because you only have so many dudes, that is the absolute key, man. If you see a back and forth, like pretty tight, pay attention to Friday starters and how long they go. If both of them go long, I mean, you're going to be looking at a 4-3 ball game, right? But if you see one that gets out of hand, either way, you're going to see it the rest of the series, right? Because you're going to see an indifference in bullpen arms that the guys can use. So Friday night, these are incredibly important games to pay attention to that one for sure. Zach says, are college ballparks all the same dimensions? No, every ballpark is different. Look, Tennessee's ballpark, it was the same size as my high school field. It might be smaller, and I'm not kidding. Tennessee's field is small. It's a hitter's park, right? Now, that helps Tennessee, but all these teams in conference come play there too. You know what I mean? So, like, when you're looking in Knoxville and you see the wind, all right, is going in the right direction, buddy, both teams are going to mash. You know what I mean? So, no. And some of them play in big, huge ballparks. Some of them play in dry air, big ballparks. Yeah, and I don't say it negatively against Tennessee. I mean, look, people had to come there last year and they weren't hitting them out. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to hit the ball, but no, man, like it's flavorful. Like, just like college football, you know what I mean? Like, no stadium is built the same.
It's one of the coolest aspects of the sport, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah. Like, each one is different.
Every single game is played on a different field.
Yep.
There's actually like a really cool website out there where you can go and look at like the craziest baseball fields that are out there.
Yeah,
man, there's some crazy baseball fields where it's like,
oh yeah,
field is like, 120 feet.
Yeah, like, you've got some of them that are just weird dimensions, dude.
Man,
like,
they're all different.
Yeah, and look, Kyle's correct. Look, Tennessee Babbitt starts tomorrow. That's another thing to pay attention to too, is that you're gonna see series that start Thursday. They go Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Right, you're going to see those for sure. So, yeah. So, and yeah, look, Aaron, like, absolutely correct. Tennessee still has a sub-2 ERA. Like, you could put it 30 feet. Folks ain't hitting. You know what I mean? Like, you still got to connect. So, yeah, man, I just used that one for sure. Will it still be Doyle or will he stay on Friday night? I don't know if it's confirmed, but generally, Tony Vitello, their manager, like, he keeps it like the same. He keeps it structured. Like, you're going to play a 3-game series, they treat it the same way. So I would assume that Doyle's going to throw game 1. Like, that's generally how he goes. That's how he gets down. All right, so that's coming in hot again. What we do is try to find teams that really are just, kind of on fire, man. And we're seeing the same teams that are on here, but I mean, again, like, this is the first time that we've seen the opponent side like bricked up. You know what I mean? Like, these teams could go with each other. Now, the opposite side, the bounce back. So this is where we try to identify teams, because we talked about the ping pong theory in college baseball. You can have good weekend, bad weekend, good weekend, bad weekend, right? Try to find teams that look at a bounce back strong, and maybe they have a good, just opponent, right? A good matchup. Not all of them do. Sometimes none of them are going to. Sometimes all of them will. We look at North Carolina, who lost tonight. But again, I don't put too terrible much stock into it.
AB,
Yeah.
I do think you might. I don't know if you're doing this on purpose, but I think this is last week's slide
Oh, it is.
because it
Yeah,
says
you're right.
week 5. Yeah.
There we go. Sorry, I forgot to
Cool, cool.
delete that. My bad. Yeah. All right. So Florida, 1-3. Those 3 losses came to Tennessee. Good eye right there. Look at you, man. See, hey, that's a good pitching coach right there, right? Florida, 1-3 last week. At home against Georgia. Could be some runs scored in that one. Number 18, Ole Miss, 1-3 last week. At Missouri. Texas A&M not ranked. 1-3 last week at Vanderbilt here in Nashville. North Carolina. Hey, you know what? Look, it's 2 weeks in a row. North Carolina, it's 2 weeks in a row here. All right, 2-2 at Boston College. And then Vanderbilt itself went 2-2, which 2-2 is not bad. Just not great. You know what I mean? And then obviously they're at home against Texas A&M. So, yeah, dude, throw it over to you, man. What do you see?
Yeah, Ole Miss off the hop right away. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that they've fallen off a little, going 1-3. I think they're going to have a good weekend against Missouri. And then a little bit disappointed with North Carolina, as you'll see. They're one of my teams. I'm really excited about this series this weekend with Boston College, though. They're a good baseball team. They've been playing really good. But I do think that North Carolina hopefully gets right and uses this as an opportunity. Otherwise, I'm considering, maybe moving them off the list, but I don't know. And then Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, I throw that one to you a little bit. I want to know what you think about that because I think that Vanderbilt's going to show up this weekend, and I think Texas A&M again is going to get caught with their tail between their legs, and they're going to falter.
I'll say this, man. Vanderbilt very rarely has like back-to-back bad weekends. They don't do it. Tim Corbin, their head coach, is arguably one of the best in baseball. He absolutely knows how to manage teams. And Texas A&M, their style of wanting to pitch, go station to station, win 4-3 ball games. Buddy, Tim Corbin and Vanderbilt have won rings, plural, doing that, right? Like, that's his game. He absolutely understands it. He can work station to station, manufacture runners, runs. Yeah, I would lean Vanderbilt here. There's just nothing to believe in with A&M. There's nothing to believe in this team. And each week that it goes, that it stays like down, like I'm not saying the kids will quit, but they'll quit. You know what I mean? Like you kind of already see it. It's like if you watch Texas A&M baseball game, it's dead. Like it is like watching a ghost, man. Like, and I feel bad for their pitchers because they're doing their jobs. Their pitchers are keeping games tight. They just cannot hit. They cannot freaking hit, man. And they cannot hit with guys on base. So if they're going to try to beat Vanderbilt, being Vanderbilt, it ain't going to happen. In Nashville, not going to happen.
And these are probably going to be like tight, low-scoring games. Like Vanderbilt's not going to blow them out, but they'll probably take the series, obviously.
Yeah.
And then what do you think about like the way with college sports going and you could just transfer out in the portal? What do you think about the way that breaks players' spirits being on teams like Texas A&M right now, where you had all these high hopes and now you're sitting there going, I'm out of here?
Well, you me tell you this. There were 2 or 3 players that had standing offers to come to Tennessee, and they all turned them down. How's that working for you? You having fun? You know what I mean? And look, Tennessee's team is almost brand new. That's what's crazy about it, is that this team is almost entirely brand new of transfers and young dudes, right? So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And you remember, Texas A&M's coach took off for Texas. That didn't help. But as it goes, like, I mean, you bring up a great point, man. Like, the longer that this goes for A&M that it's down, it's hard to pull that back out, man. Like it's hard to get the Titanic back up and floating. You know what I mean? Like the more it goes. Yeah. So, all right, that's our bounce back there for sure. Abby says, love the Gators. You know what? Hey, this Florida team can go. This Florida team can go, man. They can absolutely go. That's going to be a fun series for sure. All right, trends a note here. All right, like I said, Tennessee, they've won 13 straight weekend series. 13 straight. All right, Florida State, they haven't lost a weekend game all season. Like, again, I know that, it's only week 6, but Florida State is a friggin' wagon, dude. Like, they're handling their business. 5 straight BYU games have seen 10+ runs. Now, UCF helped in that because they can mash, but we're seeing runs. Coming when weather's really not that great in Provo, Utah. It's cold still, right? And they're getting the job done. BYU's solid team. West Virginia, their last 10 wins were all by 2+ runs. Now, I don't know how they're doing tonight. I would like them to hit the over. That would be kind. But West Virginia's handling business, man. And then look at Georgia here. 21 of Georgia's 23 games this season have seen 10+ runs. Now, their totals are usually 14.5 for a reason, but that's a lot of runs scored. You know what I mean? So Georgia, an absolute wagon, man. What do you see out of this? Like, what stands out to you?
Sorry, couldn't get that mute button. 20 Georgia stands out to me. I think they're really killing it right now. Obviously only losing 2 games so far, but West Virginia, that's something that we can use to our advantage right there. And then Florida State, I really love their pitching staff, so
it's unbelievable. Like, that's the thing, is like, not only can they score runs, dude, their pitching is fantastic. Like, Florida State is everything that Texas A&M was supposed to be. That's what Texas A&M was supposed to be, is Florida State. And Florida State said, nah, like, no, we're going to be good again this year. So, yeah, I'm with you. And yeah, let's see. Wag says, I'm full setting the under in Vandy, Texas A&M. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. Especially on Friday. And you're right. It'll probably be 10.5. I know. BYU elevation. Yes. Great point. And like, the fact that we're seeing it when it's cold, like, it will get warm. You know what I mean? Like, we're still very early into the season. So, yeah, just keep an eye there on BYU games for sure, man. I think last weekend series lost for Tennessee was bad. It was in the first conference series of the year, which is nuts. It's the SEC, right? All right.
that West Virginia game is 3-1, 3-1.
Great.
Bottom
The
of
one
six.
time I get to bet them, they can't hit.
Yeah, they might get to the bullpen here. That's what you got to hope for.
There we go. That's what we need, baby. Yeah, the good thing about college baseball is it's never done till it's done. Oh, it's absolute madness.
There's
right,
been a lot of comebacks in the 9th inning in the last.
Oh my God, yeah,
sure.
Dude, 100%.
Sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, bro, you're good. All right, under the radar series here. Okay. Middle Tennessee at Dallas Baptist. Dallas Baptist is absolutely ripping the ball, and Middle Tennessee can do the same, but they give up a lot of runs too. Keep an eye on the weather here for this weekend, because this could be a series where the books don't pay much attention, and they screw up, give us a low number. Absolutely jump on that one. NC State at Pittsburgh. Did anyone see Pittsburgh today? Has anybody seen Pittsburgh the last 3 weeks? There were 30 runs scored. I think they won 17-13, and NC State ain't far behind. Like, they've been scoring a ton, and NC State started this season. Remember, like, dude, we were almost banning them for good, and then, dude, they've picked it up. They've absolutely look, I had to laugh at this one. John, you just put an AP in there. That's why I can't get mad.
I was wondering if I was going to get called out for it.
I love it. NC State at Pittsburgh. Keep an eye on this one. If the books screw up and give a low total, jump. For the love of God, jump. Kansas at Arizona State. We talked about Kansas hitting bombs. Arizona State could score too. You're going to have some nice weather out there. Keep an eye on there. Okay. High Point at Minnesota. I know the books aren't paying attention to beautiful High Point in North Carolina. All right. This team can mash. Like, just like we talked about earlier today with Tarleton, all right, in Texas, who's beating Kansas State right now, by the way. All right. High Point can mash. Minnesota can hit too. Keep an eye on this series. I don't know if we'll get it. I mean, they generally don't give us too many high point games, but if you get it, you get it. All right, then finally, Western Kentucky at Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State ain't bad. This good. This is a good quality baseball team. They don't score a lot of runs. They don't give up a lot of runs. Um, Western Kentucky don't give up a lot of runs either. You might be able to find some nice prices on Western Kentucky money line, -1.5, possibly. Right? If you see those, just like how we go through these, like just jot things down, man, that you see, because the books will screw up, and when they do, pounce on it. So throw it over to you, man. What do you see here, or any other series, that you might have been looking at?
Yeah, right away, I want to talk about Minnesota. Like, they're 8-10. They're going against High Point, who I believe, 16-5. But Minnesota has beat some really good teams. Like,
Yes.
they beat Oregon, they beat Oregon State, they beat Arizona State twice. Those 8 wins, they have 4 like really good wins. So I wouldn't be surprised if they sneak a couple here, or sneak one, maybe win the series this weekend. And then I'm just pretty proud of NC State getting back going. They're a team that it's like right on the bubble, getting in on my rotation of teams. Really like them, like Arkansas. But yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah, you're 100% right. I've been jumping all over the overs there. And don't forget about Gonzaga. I know they're not on the list, but I jumped on them earlier on the week where I was able to use them in a parlay to pull it down. They've been scoring like crazy too.
Yes, they have. I'm glad that you brought that up. Gonzaga, who we talked about, who's given up 1 trillion runs a game. I think they've won 5 straight.
Yeah,
they're playing, dude. They're playing. That's a good eye, brother, right there. That's a good eye right there indeed, man. All right. So those are our under the radar series. We'll talk more about it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday as we go along. But these are just good things to mark down that you see, because I guarantee you the books will screw up. And they'll bust a 12.5 at NC State and Pittsburgh and not mean to, and never do that again. Jump all over it. You know what I mean? So that's why we do the homework early in advance, as opposed to them doing it Saturday morning at 10:15 while we're waiting to do a show. All right. The rotation. TJ, I'm going to pull this up full screen. The floor is yours, brother. Let it rip. I think you're on mute. Still on mute. All right, I'll go first. You work that one out. I'll go first here. All right. So let me know when you get it going. All right. So Wake Forest here, 18-4. I mean, they lost in the midweek, but I don't really give about that. Averaging 10.1 runs per game, 4.2 runs allowed per game. Wake Forest just still an absolute wagon. Now, big series, obviously, this weekend, but just continue to get the job done, man. Like, it's a team that when we have them to bet, I bet them. Florida State, same deal, 18-2 on the year, 8.6 runs per game, 2.9 runs per game allowed, 3-1 last week. It's hard to go against Florida State. It's just hard to go against them. Georgia.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. All right, the kid is back. All right. So I'll finish up mine and let you let it rip. So Georgia. All right, I felt like my 2 sons were playing against each other, the 2 kids that I do not have, all right? That they were playing against each other when we had Georgia and Kentucky this weekend. And, buddy, we talked about overs, and my God, it was just we were hitting over 14.5 by the 4th inning, right? Like, these 2 teams are so very similar, man. Like, they're so freaking very similar. Now, Georgia's better, but Kentucky plays the same style of game. All right, Georgia, you look at them, 21-2 on the year, ranked 4th in the country, 9.9 runs per game. Give it up 5. Like, that's what I like about them, is that they're solid, but they'll give up runs too. Like, they're not afraid to play a little rocket jock home run derby with you. You know what I mean? With 3-1 in week 5. UC Santa Barbara. Okay, I'm not down on UC Santa Barbara. I actually think that it's going to be a great weekend series against UC Irvine. They're just not a sexy team, but they're a team that'll put money in your pocket, right? Like, it's not a team that you're going to bet every week, because it can get dicey. I mean, look at it. Look, 15-4 is nothing to shake a stick at. Solid. it's the style of games. All right, 6.5 runs per game. They give up 4.1. Again, on average, that's winning by 2 runs every game. But you see it 2-2. What I mean is that their risk factor, right, is their margin of error is thin because they don't score a lot of runs. Georgia, we've played Georgia games where Georgia gave up 9 runs in the second inning and then put up 13 runs in the third inning. Like, you've got a wide margin of risk. Like, you could see Georgia screw up an inning and you're like, I ain't worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, boys are hitting, they'll be fine. Santa Barbara's not like that. So I think they have a good series this weekend against UC Irvine. But be careful with them. Like, I'm close to replacing them with Western Kentucky on here. I really, really like Western Kentucky. They can do it on both sides. But yeah, I mean, that's Santa Barbara. We'll see UC Irvine this weekend. And then finally Kentucky, 14-5. Again, for a team that nobody was talking about, like, I feel good that like we were all over like as a show on Kentucky saying this is a pretty good baseball team. Like, don't sleep on them. Runs per game, 8.5 is solid. Runs per game allowed at 4.1 after having played Georgia 3 games in a row, right? Like, they're pretty good. Like, the Kentucky's pretty damn good, man. Went 2-2 last week, obviously. So those are my 5, man. And like I said, keep an eye on Santa Barbara. Western Kentucky might be jumping in that spot. So here, I'll throw it over to you. Put up full screen. What you got?
Yeah, cool. I really like Santa Barbara too, but you're right. They can be dirty teams sometimes. So Florida State, as you can see, some of my teams there on the right side are struggling. 2-2, 2-2. Not really okay with North Carolina and Vanderbilt doing that, but keeping them on my list this week, and we're gonna do that because they have opportunity with the series that they're going into. So Florida State gets Miami. They're 13-9. Looking forward to that series. Lots of runs scored by Florida State, and I think that their pitching could shut down Miami this weekend. I do think Miami may get a game, so I'm a little worried about that. But I'm going to utilize the pitching staff of Florida to say that they have the advantage of the series. So North Carolina, I think that they're going to have a big bounce back weekend here against Boston College, who are only 9-9. It's a big opportunity for them, and they can put up the runs to do it. And Boston College pitching is what really lets them down. Tennessee Dogs, obviously it's going to be a big series this weekend. I may stay away from them. Between these two teams, them and Georgia, 3 losses total. So something there for you. 11 runs per game as Tennessee does, though. I do think that other than when you're getting the matchup with Doyle, that you're going to see a lot of runs in that series. So you might get some good numbers like 11.5, 12.5, and you might want to play those. And then, I'm just looking again for Oregon and Vanderbilt to bounce back here. Otherwise, I'm not going to kick Oregon off my list, but otherwise I may consider those other teams. That's just what I got to do because want my list to have more winnings than what's going on that left side. So we may work it out this week and see what happens. But I'm looking for a big bounce back from these guys. So
yeah, well, and remember, like we're getting into conference play, and these conferences are for real. Like the competition in the Big Ten, in the ACC, in the SEC, it ain't no damn joke, man. Like they're playing a lot of ranked teams. I mean, Wags brings up a great point, right? Like even UC Santa Barbara, like going on the road to play Hawaii. Number one, that's tough, just the road, the travel, right? And then number 2, like Hawaii, as Wags says, right? Like has a bullpen to fear. It is wild, but that's what I'm saying. Like 2-2, 3-2, like that's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's how it's gonna be. Like Tennessee's not gonna be 20-1 on there. Like they could go. I mean, hell, they haven't beat Alabama in a series in 2 years, 3 years, right? Like these teams are good. These teams are good. So it's just about making sure that we find the teams that have themselves in good spots, right? Oregon State against Cal Poly, right? Something they should take advantage of. You know what I mean? Vanderbilt gets Texas A&M. So we'll see. But I'm with you, man.
Great.
Yeah, like it's just about
Did you
finding
see that? Did you see that series, that Hawaii series this weekend? It's Sunday doubleheader, and then Tuesday.
Odd.
Yeah.
Like, but you know what? If I were Hawaii, I'd make everything odd.
Yeah, might as well.
Like I would
they
just
play sometimes at like like in the middle of the night, right? Like in the morning, 12:30 a.m. games.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think they're 8 hours away from Santa
Yeah.
Barbara. Think about it, you're 8 hours away from Santa Barbara. Like anybody who's made that flight from California to Hawaii, it is far. Dude, it is far. Hawaii's out there. But yeah, man. Hawaii's just a wild squad. But yeah, I think that the Gauchos, man, Santa Barbara, they should bounce back against Irvine pretty nicely. All right. One more. Abby said, they have a specific over you looking at this weekend. So a couple of them. And again, we don't have any numbers, obviously. Any of these right here, depending if the number is right, be careful of that last one, Western Kentucky at Kennesaw State. That could have some surprising lower scoring games. But like Middle Tennessee at Dallas Baptist, that's going to be a 16-run game. NC State at Pittsburgh, that's going to be a 7,000-run game. Yeah, I mean, it all depends on the numbers, but these right here, for sure, man. Like those first three, Kansas, Arizona State as well. Like, yeah, those are the ones definitely looking at, man. All right, I think that's it, man. That's all for week 6 here. TJ, any final thoughts you got before we get out of here?
Just enjoy the baseball this weekend. It's getting exciting, right? We got some big series coming up. Lots of baseball, even probably too much to watch, but enjoy it.
Yeah, it's gonna be nice, man. Dude, in just a couple weeks, like adding in Major League Baseball, it's gonna be great. Hey, Tarleton, come on, baby. We need one more run. Let's go. Come on. I know everybody loves some good Tarleton State baseball. All right. Anyways, everybody, thanks so much for tuning in. Hope this helps. If you have any questions in regards to college baseball for the weekend, whenever you're watching this, like I said, we go live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So you might be watching this on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever. Hit us up, man. Let us know, me or TJ, or jump in the Discord. I'm telling you, like all the cats in the Discord, they're OGs. They know it for sure. So anyways, appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. And we will see you normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Peace. Who's got it better than us? Nobody.